A teenage boy once said something to me that stopped me completely. He said, "You had only the TV. We have the phone, the computer, TikTok, YouTube, the iPad. You have no idea how much harder it is for us today." And he was right. But what I said back to him, that is what I want to share today with you. Stay with me, because what started as a talk to 200 students became one of the most important conversations I have ever had about parenting, screens, and the future of our children. And if you have a child who's glued to a screen right now, this video is for you. I was recently invited to speak at a school. 2 groups, grade 7 and 11. I walked into that room knowing exactly what I wanted to say, because the story I was to tell them, that was my own story. When I was their age, I had no direction, no one pushing me toward my potential. I would come home from school, eat lunch, and spend the rest of the day in front of the TV, zapping hour after hour, day after day. My mom, she was very loving, but she didn't know how to guide me. Nobody said, "Turn off the TV, go and find your passion, become someone." So I drifted. I took the easy road. I did what felt only good. At 18, I finished school with average grades. No university, no dream. I just took the first job because it felt comfortable to earn money. And I looked at those students and I thought, I was you. I was sitting exactly where you are sitting, and nobody ever told me what I needed to hear. So today I am going to tell you. I won't pretend it was perfect from the start. When I walked into that classroom of grade 11, some students were laughing. They were distracted, talking to each other, and I could feel the resistance in the room. But I kept going. And about 4 minutes later, something shifted. I could see it in their faces. They stopped laughing. They started listening. They felt seen, because I was not lecturing them. No, I was telling them my story, and my story was their story. And at the end of the talk, I received an email from a grade 11 student, and she wrote to me telling me how encouraging my talk was, how much she appreciated, and how it stayed with her. That email reminded me why I do this work. Here is what I told those students. And here is what I want every mom watching to understand. The human brain continues developing until around the age of 25 to 28. Until then, children and teenagers are simply not able to make consistently wise decisions on their own. The part of the brain responsible for long-term thinking, impulse control, and understanding consequences is still being built. This is not an opinion. This is neuroscience. So when your child chooses TikTok over homework, screens over sleep, and scrolling over everything else, they are not being lazy. Their brain is literally not yet equipped to choose long-term gain over short-term pleasure. That is why they need us. And I told those students, I made my decision to change at age 25, right at the edge of when my brain was finally fully developed. And I often think, what if someone had told me that at age 13 or 16? How different would have my path have been? You still have time to tell your child. At the end of the grade 11 talk, a boy raised his hand and he said, "You had only the TV. we have so much more that distract us. The phone, the computer, TikTok, YouTube, the iPad. You have no idea how much harder it is for us today. The room went quiet. And I looked at him and I said, that is exactly why I am here today. And I'm not going to tell you to delete TikTok. And I'm not going to tell you to throw your phone out of the window. He looked surprised. I am going to ask you one single question. Just one. What is your passion? He thought for a moment and then he said, politics. Politics, wow, that's a great passion. Now take your phone and use it to become an expert in politics. Watch a documentary every single day. Read, learn, and go deep. And come back to me in 1 year and tell me where you are. He was silent for a moment. And then he nodded. Something had shifted. This is what I told those students. And this is what I want to say to you and to your child right now. Every time you pick up your phone and open an app without intention, you are sitting in the passenger seat. You are letting the algorithm decide where you go, what you think, and who you become. And I understand why. Because scrolling feels so good. It feels comfortable, easy, entertaining. Yes, it really does. Just one more video, just 5 more minutes. It feels so good. In exactly the same way, staying on the couch all afternoon for me as a teenager watching TV felt incredibly good. But here's what scrolling does not. It does nothing for the person you are trying to become. It does nothing for your future. It does not build your skills, your confidence, and your dreams. It just fills time and steals it at the same time. We have to be honest with ourselves and with our children. We need to close the things that only feel good and start doing the things that are actually good for us. That is not easy, but it is the difference between a life that feels comfortable and a life that means something. But every time you pick up your phone and say, today I'm going to learn something, create something, build something, you are in the driver's seat. The question is never, should my child use technology? The question is my child controlling the screen or is the screen controlling my child? And here's the hard truth that no one wants to say out loud. If we don't teach our child to sit in the driver's seat, the algorithm will keep them as a passenger forever. I know what some of you are thinking right now, but Helen, I tell my child to put the phone down every single day and they don't listen. I hear you and I want to be honest with you. Telling them to put the phone down is not enough because you are fighting the most sophisticated attention capturing technology ever built. The apps are designed by teams of engineers whose only job is to keep your child scrolling. You cannot win that battle with willpower alone. You win it with purpose. Find out what your child is passionate about, what lights them up, what they could talk about for hours, and then help them use technology to go deep into that passion. A child with a passion and a phone is powerful. A child without a passion and a phone is lost. And remember, the brain is still being built. They cannot do this alone. They need you to guide them, to set the boundaries, to say, in this home, we use technology with intention. And that is not control. That is parenting. I think about that boy often. The one who said we have so much more to distract us. He was right. The world our children are growing up in is harder than anything we experience. The distractions are more powerful, more addictive, and more constant. But the solution is the same as it has always been. A child who knows who they are and what they want cannot be kept as a passenger. Your job is not to take away the phone. Your job is to raise a child who knows how to use it. And that starts with you, with the boundaries you set, with the conversations you have, with the questions you ask your child tonight. What is your passion? And how can we use technology to help you grow it? If you want to start building the kind of home where your child sits in the driver's seat, grab my free Healthy Boundaries checklist. It shows you exactly which boundaries might be missing and where to start. The link is below. And if this spoke to you, subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every week. Real stories, real conversations, and practical tools for raising confident kids in a world full of distractions. I am Helen Zimprich. I am your parenting coach.